Its name, derived from Latin bellus locus, or pen bello locus. Beaulieu is a well-laid-out town, located on the edge of a slope overlooking the Loire River valley. It was customary to search for a defendable site on high ground, from where you could see the enemy approach. Insecurity was a permanent feature from the 5th through the 12th centuries. After the great invasion of the German tribes, came the Normans of Scandinavia, who came up the rivers to pillage the towns. Then came the Arabs, who had not all been stopped at Poitiers, as some say they were. Finally, there were the Hungarians, who took some time to establish themselves in Central Europe. Internal wars were also feared. Therefore, walls were built around Beaulieu. All of the community maps show an almost circular surrounding wall, which remains for the most part today. These walls are fortifications, overlook the Loire Valley to the north and the Roussin Valley to the west. A dozen towers guarded the gates of the town, thus eliminating blind spots for the lookout. These square or round towers were pierced by loopholes, which open horizontally to accommodate crossbows. The revolution brought about the destruction of the fortifications, as well as the chateaux, which were reminders of the ancient regime. The convention in 1793 called for the destruction of Beaulieu's largest gate, the one which located where the town cemetery is now. In the last century, the municipality authorized adjacent landowners to build their homes up against the walls. The moats were filled, forming this walkway that encircles the town. Walnut trees were planted, which have long since disappeared, as were 2 rows of lime trees. They are now 150 years old. Like all medieval towns and cities, Beaulieu had a castle and a church. The castle was lost very early. The guardhouse is all that is left of it. In the walls of the guardhouse, grooves can be seen where the chains of the drawbridge passed. The gate for carriages has been filled in. Next to it, you can make out the small, everyday pedestrian gate. At the turn of the century, there was still another vestige of the chateau, a round tower called the Tour des Dîmes, or clergy tax tower. It was demolished in 1907 to make room for the expansion of the boys' school. The bell tower is the oldest building, at least as far as its lower portion is concerned. It formed, along with the church and the castle, the last refuge in case of an invasion. It could hold the entire population. It includes a spiral staircase with archery openings at different levels. The upper part of the bell tower was redone and finished in the 16th and 17th century. From there, the watchman could see the surrounding for 5 or 6 kilometers in all directions. The tower was last used during the First World War, when watchmen searched the skies for German blimps. The Romanesque nave is as old as the bell tower, dating from the 11th or 12th century. It suffered during the Wars of Religion. Its earliest appearance must have been far different from that of today. The church had wide doors on its side, providing direct access to the square, which was then the parish cemetery. On the south side, it was connected to the courtyard of the castle. You can still see the arches of these openings, which were filled in before the end of the 18th century. The only available entrance was located on the west gable. It was enlarged at the beginning of the 19th century on the initiative of Marshal MacDonald, who lived in the castle of Courcelles-le-Roi. He imposed the Empire style, then very fashionable, on this large portico. The Lord's house stood right next to the church. At the beginning of the Middle Ages, the Earls of Sancerre extended their domination over the entire north of Berry, including Beaulieu. They found themselves in competitions with the canons of bourg, later supported by a rich and powerful archbishop, quickly ousted them. At the time of the Crusades, the Earls of Sancerre gave up their rights of control over Beaulieu. The canons were the only rulers until the Revolution. This half-timbered house from the 15th century was their pied-à-terre. As lords, they had right to keep pigeons. The square tower that tops the buildings is double-capped, with 130 owls. It was equivalent to a 130-acre estate. There are few houses as old as the Lord's house. Most were modified and restored in the 18th and 19th centuries, like the one which is next to the present town hall. If you look closely, you can find a few Renaissance windows. And even a few Gothic lintels. You can discover an old tower. And there are also some walls made of a mixture of straw and clay. There are also vestiges of a distant past. The first inhabitants would go to the abundant spring which flowed from the pot of the ridge. Pure and cool in all seasons, it was sufficient, thanks to its flow, to supply the entire population. It never froze and was used by the laundresses. A public laundry was set up next to it, long before the canal was dug in 1838. Wells were dug right in town. The oldest well is the coat of arms wells. The name because it was a cross from the coat of arms inn, a posting inn during the 18th century. On the stone lintel, you can see the date. In a nook of what is now Main Street is another old well. The name of the craftsman who forged it, Beaulieu of Corn, is inscribed on the frame. It was Beaulieu who made the first choir screen for the church. In the courtyard of this farm, an old well which used to have two levels. Postcards from the turn of the century show it like that. The upper level of the well has been lost. It furnished water for the dwellings around the closed courtyard, which was the home of the bailli under the ancient regime. The bailli, or squire, was a royal functionary. The church square became the commercial center on market and fair days. The market was held on Wednesdays. Its existence was officially legalized by decree of the First Council, Napoleon Bonaparte, on the 28th of Loire, year 11. A bell installed in 1838 on the wall of the church announced the opening of the market at 8 o'clock in the summer, 9 in the winter. This bronze bell disappeared during the last war. Today, only the bell framework remains. It was on the Cruiser Square, now known as the 11th of November Square, that the patriotic ceremonies of the revolutionary era took place. In the autumn of 1792, the proclamation of the Republic was celebrated. So were the army's victory. One exit Cruiser Square through the Crusoe Gate, which opens onto the road of vineyards. The square's name was changed to Liberty Square in 1792. As everywhere in France, a liberty tree was planted. The gesture was repeated in 1848, then in 1889, for the centennial of the Revolution. All postcards show a tree planted on Liberty Square. Another was visible on Church Square. And the third, a lime tree, was transplanted in 1928 in the courtyard of the boys' school. In 1989, for the bicentennial, a weeping cedar was planted in front of the new school. One might have expected a tall, proud, vigorous tree pointing straight to the heavens. Did we make a wise choice, selecting a tree without pride, more bent over than straight, permanently crippled with a bent spine? It is a symbol of a society without ideal and of a republic without ambitions. The 19th century was a century of great public works. The first achievement was a canal along the Loire. It was inaugurated in 1838. The officials traveled it from beginning to end in a decorated barge which stopped in each town for speeches and fanfare. The river port was given up. Thus, boat traffic was brought closer to town. During the same time period, they built a watering place on the road to Piatti by widening the Rigodon River. Herds in great numbers came there to drink. They eliminated the form of barefoot road, so named because the inhabitants had continually to take off their shoes to reach their gardens. The bridge and the laundry were also built. The Orleans was also laid out. It was Department Road number 2. Before, this road in town was nothing more than Cézanne's Lane, which went down towards the river. They widened what is now Main Street, and there, too, the ford was replaced by a stone bridge. The other departmental road, Auxerre-Vierzon, was built only in the 20th century after the Loire River Bridge has opened in 1902. This road provided the link to National Road number 7 and, above all, to the Bonny train station. The railroad at that time was the only quick means of transportation towards Paris. The last monument to be erected in Beaulieu was built after the First World War in 1920 to honor the victims of this 4-year conflict. Liberty Square became the 11th of November Square. The project was entrusted to a native of Beaulieu, Mr. Prélier, an architect in Paris. Cannons were placed around the monument, which the village children would straddle during their games. Thus, it was decided to build the wall around it with a gate. The municipality gathered there several times a year to keep alive the memory of the past and to bear witness to the solidarity of the generations. To the names of the First World War victims are added those of later wars. Let us hope that these will be the last names, and that we have entered an era of everlasting peace.